Okay, back at Tower 22. So this is like a preview to the preview because today is Fed Day. So everywhere around the world, everything you click on, including probably sport applications, tell you that the Fed cut the Fed funds rate by 0.25% today. What some of these graphics that I'm going to post will show you is what happened after they did. So we're always talking about how current rates are built on a forecast of what the Fed is projected to do, which was lower rates by 0.25% today. Now, there's no meeting in November. The next meeting will be December. And I'll post something here what Fed Chair Powell said about whether or not we should assume that there'll be another quarter rate cut in December. Basically, I'll just cheat and tell you, don't hold your breath. Number one, we don't have the data publicly available because of the government shutdown, Bureau of Labor Statistics, and so many other sources. The public is unsure of what the labor market truly looks like. The headlines that we're seeing are Amazon laying off folks, several other major Google laying off folks in their AI division, so many other stories that are making headlines about layoffs. But I've told you in weeks before that what we're going to see in addition to job cuts is a lack in job wage growth so that we don't have this self-fulfilling prophecy, higher wages driving higher costs, etc. So there was another thing that we thought may be a hopeful note today that really didn't come to fruition, and that was the ending of quantitative tightening that is set to end in December. Now, I was really looking to see what Fed Chair Powell said in his press conference about this ending of quantitative tightening. He mentioned it and said it's almost a nothing burger because they've already cut the amount of runoff by half twice. So basically, he's saying that it's such a nominal amount that they're running off that it's not going to be seen as a major event. That was my takeaway. Now, this means that in the short term, we've seen the 10-year Treasury balloon up over 4.05 today. We were hovering below 4%. So now we're running into some moving day averages. This happened last time rates were cut in September. It took about 3 weeks before we saw rates start to come down again. And part of that was because we knew that today there would be likely another 0.25% cut. As for the next meeting, we don't have that definitive answer said in stark terms by Chair Powell today in the press conference. So this brings me to the final thought that, look, we've seen government bailouts before. We've seen government to the rescue before. That was in major times of crises. We saw the government do quantitative easing for the first time in a long time during the Great Recession. People's homes were underwater. We saw them cut rates to zero when they shut down the biggest economy the world has ever known during COVID. And we're seeing the tail that's wagging the dog because of inflation related to the cutting of such rates. So the Fed doesn't want to move quickly. In fact, like what I've got in front of me right now, a microcosm of that is my fish tank at home. And in aquarium keeping, I'm going to nerd out here, nothing good happens fast. And I think in the terms of Federal Reserve, especially with some of the data that they have access to that we don't because of the shutdown, they're not going to act too quickly. They talk about the economy and the employment environment overall not being too bad. Well, and they understand at the same time that people are feeling the inflationary impacts that have persisted now for multiple years. I just want to tell you that this is the time where if you're fortunate enough to have a great home that doesn't meet your needs anymore and you need to sell it, you need to look at, discuss, and implement strategies that are going to help eager buyers that need better affordability. It sounds like a broken record, guys, but the evidence is there. The private market has the equity and the information necessary to solve any gridlock that's happening with homes aging on market. That lies within unfortunate and inconvenient truth, the equity that's been built during a time of historically low interest rates. More this week on the Weekend Update. I'm running long here, but this was important. Fed Day is always a big day, and we got our news. Stay tuned. Go to MTG Dashboard if you're a client. Go to Weekend Up, WKND.com, up.com to get the current dashboard information. See you soon.